there's no introduction needed. Everybody knows who Rob Kaufhold is, obviously. And, you know, Rob, first of all, thank you so much for everything you've done for Barebow in general, and for your support, and on a personal level, your support for the small project I got going on up here in Schuylkill County, not far away from you, and the support over the years. For those of you who don't know, Rob sold my first Olympic recurve to my father when I was like 9 or 10 years old at the old setup at Lancaster Archery. So he's kind of known me for, well, the majority of my life, I would say. So yep. we go way back. I'm not trying to age you there, bud, but I'm just saying, you know.
We all know how old Frank is.
I'm damn near 60.
You've been around archery for a long time, long time. And Frank, you've seen a lot of things come and go. What's that, John?
Why does Rob look so much younger than you?
See, it's only a matter of time before the old jokes come out. Because he's down there working on a farm and stay.
I don't have any more hair.
You have a little bit more hair than I do, but mine was intentional. I don't know what it looks like now. So actually, Deborah, you definitely have the most amount of hair. You have a little bit of skin, and everything is just a big mop going on right now. But anyways, it looks like Rob froze up a little bit. That's okay though. I'm sure he'll pop right back. So for those that are listening, and then as we proceed through this, we got two very specific topics that we're going to talk about. And the first one is with Rob and the traveling that he's done with Casey and the training that she has been through. Looks like his video may have popped out. And the plethora of improvement that he has seen just in the sport in general, not just Barebow. But we want to talk about some of the things that Rob, you've seen as a parent, as a coach figure, as a, you know, someone involved in archery in general. And obviously I know you have a passion for Barebow because I've heard you say it before. You've said it to me. If you were going to compete or you were going to shoot, Barebow is where you would be. What things have you seen or things have you come across that you think is a carryover to the Barebow world, the things that we should be looking at or focusing on?
You mean as far as shooting form?
Shooting form, training, preparation.
Most of it. Shooting a bow is shooting a bow. Even shooting a compound has quite a bit in common. I mean, good form, good line, good posture, the breathing, you know, all of that, you know, is very much the same. Holding good tension, you know, with the recurve, extremely important. You know, as you know, you don't have a clicker with shooting World Archery Barebow, but having great back tension or tension through the entire shot is extremely important. And that separates an average shooter from a good shooter to a truly great shooter. You know, if you watch the classic videos of the Barebow guys shooting, you're going to see, you know, an amazing display of great shooting form, you know, by the top archers. And they would be great Olympic recurve archers as well. I mean, Demmer made a great run at it a few years ago.
Yeah, he did. How long ago was it that you shot your Olympic recurve, Demmer?
4 or 5 years ago.
That was for 16, wasn't it?
Yeah, 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you end up? Where did you end up that year? Do you remember?
Not good. The trials actually was my probably worst tournament. Just not enough prep, not enough tournament with it. The very first one I shot, I did pretty good. I think I shot like a 628. The very first tournament I ever shot. That was at SoCal. That was pretty good. And then shot a couple NFA stuff pretty well, but struggled. Everything was there's a lot of peaks and valleys, and the peaks were getting extremely high and the valleys were kind of still staying kind of low, and that's, I shot a valley.
Did you shoot the classic, John?
I didn't shoot the classic.
all?
No, that was just strictly outdoor. Yep.
Interesting. I would say that you would definitely see some Olympic recurve shooters that have transferred over and have been able to make the transition. Simon, John, did you shoot Barebow before you shot Olympic?
Oh yeah. Long time before. Yeah. Yep.
How is it for you, Rob, every once in a while? I know you don't get to play with it too much, but I know you have. How is it for you?
You mean switching back and forth?
Yeah, well, shooting Barebow from all your years of shooting Olympic. What's the
I love it. I mean, Demmer, I almost gave Demmer a show at the Eastern a few years ago. They have a Barebow event there, and I just picked up my son's bow, and he had competed with it all week, and I had a pretty good run at it, and Calvin was shooting, and John, and had a great time. And I do love shooting Barebow. The kids growing up, when they were 5 years old, we were out on the 3D courses, and we had 3D set up in the backyard. When they were 3 years old, they would shoot at the 3D targets in the backyard. And it's all single string wood bows, long bows back then. I shot a longbow, they shot longbows, and it's how I taught them how to shoot. We did not put a sight on their bow until they were 8 years old.
Yeah, it's probably a common mistake in a new shooter coming up through, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. We shot, to touch a little bit more upon that. Yeah, Rob and I had a pretty good show at the Eastern the one year, shooting for the Hill Fontaine trophy, and I just wanted to mention that we kind of took Calvin out pretty early in the matches. He wasn't even a factor.
John, that was some of the most fun I've had shooting a bow in many years. That year at the Eastern, that was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, it was good.
It was an honor. It was an honor just to be, toe to toe with you, back to 40 or 45 yards, whatever it went. And, I think we were the only two past about 30 yards. So it was a great time.
Can you guys elaborate on what that is? Being from Pennsylvania, I have some familiarity with it. I've never shot the Eastern. That's out of Golden Grain, correct?
Yes.
Can you explain though what your head-to-head was?
That it's a novelty event. Every archer that competes, Olympic or compound, they have to shoot an unsighted recurve, a Barebow recurve. You have to take your sight and your stabilizers off, and it's funny to watch guys that have never done it. They're anchoring under their chin, and they're usually shooting way over the target. The Hill Fontaine is what it's called, and it goes back in many years ago. I think it was in the 30s. There was Howard Hill and Bill Fontaine were the two archers, and Fontaine bet Howard Hill that he couldn't knock the ball off the top of the flagpole with an arrow. He had some 38 charges that he took his wood arrow and he had it rigged with a primer. So he hit the ball at the top of the flagpole with a 38 primer on the front of his arrow, knocked the flagpole, blew the flagpole apart, knocked the ball off, and that's what the trophy is made out of. And so, there's a lot of history and folklore on there. My dad is on that trophy, and I'm on that trophy many times, gone back into the early 50s. My dad is on there. So it's quite a battle. That's the most highly prized trophy of the whole event, and it's Barebow only.
That's awesome. So, John, does that mean that your name is on there at least once?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah, wasn't able to go to it last year, and I think Ben Shu. I think Ben shoots out a pro line.
Yeah.
With Joe. Yeah, he got it
Joe
again.
McGlynn.
I know he's on there a couple times.
Who's that? Ben or Joe?
Ben.
Oh, okay. Okay, just it's good. That's a neat story. I've heard that story probably from you, Rob, somewhere in the past, but I won't. I know there's gonna be a lot of people are like they're not gonna know what that is. So, and there's a little segue because you were talking previous about Connor and Casey, and actually shout out to Connor. Connor is he at school?
Connor goes in about 6 or 7 weeks.
Okay.
He's headed to Texas A&M. He's headed down there to see his girlfriend next week. And he's dating a gal from Texas. And they'll be at school down there together. And he's really looking forward to it. I'm dreading every day.
It's crazy to think Connor's that old already.
It is crazy. It absolutely is. But he's going to shoot archery in college, and you gotta. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm happy for him. It's been cool watching him grow up over the years. He's a great kid, but he's got to stop growing because I think he's taller than I am now. I'm pretty sure he is. Well, I don't like that.
I think he was taller than me when he was probably in 6th grade. So.
Yeah, he's definitely a gentle giant of sorts. But what I was going to say is the segue that we were looking into. Yeah, he's good. Is the hurdle that we're seeing or that we see maybe a club standpoint, a shop standpoint, whatever the community is getting new shooters into the target world, getting them into the competition world of archery seems to be a hurdle that we don't just run into with Barebow. We run into it with every form of archery. What do you think is the thing that's keeping people back, or what is the thing that we have to do more of to get past that hurdle of getting people into the target archery world?
Well, it's the same as it always was up until COVID. With the coronavirus, COVID, it's tough. On the plus side, at the academy, we reopened 2 weeks ago, and our classes are booking full. Discover Archery is booking full. We have individual lessons, so people seem to, if you reassure them that we're taking steps, they seem to be willing to come out and continue to shoot. That's to learn the sport and also to get back into the swing of things with individual lessons.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that the academy's booking back up. I know I shot the FIDA a couple of weeks ago, and it was definitely it was a weird feeling shooting with one person per bail. It was kind of like it was just another practice day of sorts. Like, it just wasn't quite the same. So
that meant it was another 500 day for you?
Yes, it was actually not a good day at all. It was a struggle bus for sure. But it was just weird. It was strange. But, you get to the tournament and they check your temperature and you sign your waiver, and it's just all these things that we have to do now. And it's everybody's wearing masks around you.
Flashes of brilliance, Frank.
Yeah. Yeah. They are there sometimes.
I'm still waiting to see it.
Mm-hmm. You saw it already. My one time you saw it. It was on the green practice range. You remember that?
Yeah, you took my money.
I did.
Punk.
Be able to have a tournament. I think we're up to about 70 people registered for that one.
For the new one, the one in the 11th.
Yeah, the one on Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's coming up
nice.
This weekend. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Those are star FIDAs too, correct? Is that a star FIDA?
This one will be a star, yes.
Gotcha. John, see, and you're away this weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm shooting a star vita in Michigan this weekend,
Yeah.
and do
And
some fishing. Do some fishing with my friend Tim Johnson.
yeah, Timmy boy. Well, with the idea that everything's starting to open back up, I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction. I'll tell you, I shot with a gentleman who this past weekend I was at Palmyra, and I shot with Christopher. I think his last name is Spack, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. John, you and I talked about him a little bit.
Sounds really close.
He's from the Harrisburg Archery Club. He started Barebow through the Explore Archery program at the Academy. So he 5 years ago took the Explore Archery program or whatever the introduction program was at the time, bought a Samick within a couple of weeks, and now he's shooting a Gilo and going to FIDA and shooting 3D, and prime example of how the Academy's process and the exposure gets people into the sport. So super nice guy. Was born with some degenerative vision issues, and I don't know, he's got a spinal cord fused and stuff. So like he uses archery definitely in a different way, more of an exercise type, shoots for the passion of the sport and whatnot. But it's cool to see guys like him who came through the entire program, and here I ended up shooting on the same bale with him this past weekend at Palmyra, which was really, really neat. So
yeah, and he stepped up and bought really great gear too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't remember what lens he was shooting, but he, definitely, and he listens to the Barebow Project and follows, was listening to our 50 meter podcast, John, to try to break into 50 meter. I don't think he shot it last year. This is his first year trying it, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I mean, you're seeing that more and more people starting to come out, and that's what we need. We need that across the board in archery, but not just Barebow. Definitely it across the board. Anything else you think that other people could be doing, Rob? Some that strikes you that we need to do more of?
This whole racial unrest. I mean, it has a very healthy conversation going on at USA Archery and I think elsewhere. Just thinking about the minorities that I know that are shooting, and I have some really good friends that in archery who happen to be not white like me, and it's amazing how successful many of them have been, but I think we could be more welcoming to people that maybe there aren't many blacks or Latinos or other like I said, they're not, they don't look like me, but they love archery, so they're a friend of mine. So I'm just going to redouble my efforts to make sure that I go out of my way to welcome anyone that I recognize as new to the sport. And I've spent my life doing that, so it's not a big leap for me to do that. But like I said, I'm going to redouble my efforts so that I'm sure that I welcome anyone that's new to the sport in that way.
The community of archery is definitely a powerful thing, and I think we should take advantage of that as well. And open arms to everyone. And it's, let's face it, archery's got a kind of a healing capability as well. We're all in the same boat when we're standing on a competition line or we're standing on a target bale.
Yep.
For sure. So absolutely. I think that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. I am. Mr. Demmer, anything else that you wanted to, I know Rob's sort of pressed for time and
I'm good.
Okay, you're good? All right.
I am parked, I'm yours.
Well, all right. John Scott.
This was my plan was, hey, I could do a podcast phone call, while I'm driving, but if I had to, I could just stop. And so that, that's where I'm at now. Casey's continued to train hard, practice hard. She was at her peak for the first weekend in April, the Olympic trials, and she was shooting right at world record pace. She had a 687 that week of the Arizona Cup, the Olympic trials.
Nice.
And
awesome.
The world record was set last year by Kang from Korea at 693.
Outstanding. How's she doing now?
She's shooting well. She's not shooting that level. She's 660s, 670s. So she's definitely, we work hard to peak for big events, and you can't, it's very difficult to, Brady has been able to, but even Brady has some ups and downs, and even Brady works to a peak for his big tournaments. And you can't stay at world-class intensity 365 days a year. You've got to ramp it up and ramp it down.
How do you try to achieve that? Just by practice volume?
Practice volume and the drills that we do. We change the practice. We change the leading up to the Olympic trials. John, she shot against every major competitor in the world, mostly Koreans, but some Europeans as well. We just go and look at World Archery, and we look at previous matches, World Championships, World Cups, major tournaments within the last 2 or 3 years. And she, her coach, Heather or Brian or myself, we will be the opponent, and we know what the archer shot at those events. So Casey shoots against her top competition. She shoots matches against them. And so she's very comfortable doing that. And that's one of the types of practice that we do. And her arrow count was 500 plus at that time.
That's an interesting approach.
Yeah, she's down to maintain, she's down to 200, 250, 100 on a very light day. But she shoots every day still.
Do you ramp that up specifically before tournament and ramp it down like a week or two before to allow her body to recover?
You mean after?
No. So say 4 weeks out from the tournament, the idea of periodization, say 4 or 5 weeks out, high volume, and then that gradually declines a week down to literally the day before a tournament, so that health-wise, physically, she's recovered from all of the volume, but yet her skill level, her strength, and everything is up. Is that what you do?
Peak season, minimal volume for her, a light day is 250. Is about as light as we go. Now, there's a travel day in there, so that's a break. But she, because of the gymnastics and because of just how much she shoots, she loves to shoot. She and my wife, they're on vacation this week over at the beach. So, they have a house over at the beach, and they have a beach vacation. Casey brought her bow, knowing that she could drive an hour to the farm to shoot. There's no way she was going to go a week and not shoot. So she's been at the farm twice this week shooting her bow. She took a day off in between, day or two, but she loves to shoot her bow.
That's no, I'm glad you brought that up because I think there's a lot of people that still, they shoot barebow and there's a lot of the community aspect, but when it comes to being a competitor, I think you need to take that approach. I mean, obviously Casey's on an extreme level. She's an Olympic level shooter, but for the rest of us that are out there that still want to just compete, maybe we're not training for the Olympics, but you can still train with that purpose.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not 250 arrows as your light day, maybe 50 arrows, 60 arrows as your light day. You can still train with that purpose.
You're much better off shooting 50 arrows with purpose. And one of the things that gives life for a lifetime, I was always a gear geek. And for me, I always did A/B testing. I was always trying to find, that tune, that new piece of equipment, whatever it was. So I was always doing A/B testing, comparing two different setups, two different point weights in my arrows, whatever it might be. And when you're doing that, your practice has to have purpose because you have to shoot good shots to see which one's better. You're never just blindly shooting arrows that don't matter. That can allow some poor habits to come into play. So practicing with purpose is very important.
I know somebody else that likes to do that. We call him a tinkerer, but I know somebody else that likes to play with equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it makes sense.
I do it in a smart way though. Like some people I see, they rip apart their whole complete bow and then start over, but I'll try to find something that works really well, and then I'll take my backup bow and try to make that bow better than my go-to bow, and then keep flopping back and forth until I find something that's the best.
Yeah, It is super important to make sure that those shots are good shots, though. If you're just not having a good day, I mean, you can tune your bow for a bad day, and then you go and shoot it, and everything's off. So you have to definitely shoot with a purpose just for that purpose alone, and then automatically you're shooting more arrows. But yeah, John, you do that a lot. But I mean, you're constantly looking for the next best tune. You're looking for when the most forgiving stuff is. Trying, always trying. Yeah, for sure. Outstanding stuff. Awesome. John, anything else you wanted to talk about with Rob before we open it up for some Q&A?
I think we touched upon most of it. I think Rob made a pretty good point. He's talking about going above and beyond a little bit, trying to get people to be a little bit more comfortable with the sport, especially people that tend to be shy about it, for whatever background it may be, whether it may be race or wealth or just their friends aren't interested or aren't as interested as they are. So I think he made a really good point about trying to get people to be a little bit more comfortable.
The barebow community is awesome at that. I mean, the barebow community is the best at doing that. And I think it's just, it comes naturally. Hey, there's somebody that is interested in shooting like me, and there aren't many of us, or there weren't many of us. So that's why the barebow community has grown so much, is because the people that shoot barebow, and you two are prime examples of it, are so generous with your, sharing your experiences, your tips, and being warm and welcoming. And that's the name of the game. That's what is so special about the barebow community.
100% agree with that. And thank you for the compliment. I think we understand the struggle. We all relate to the struggle that and kind of have a respect for it, I think, in some ways, and understand that the guy standing next to me or the girl standing next to me, we've all been down that road and know how difficult it is. It's just everybody's struggle is a little bit different, or the level is a little bit different, but we all get it. So But yeah, you're right. The Barebow community is definitely something special, and it's definitely a home. And the people who follow it and support it are as much to be thankful for and to be appreciative of. And the people that are on this call that are waiting to say hello to you and maybe have some questions or whatever, they're here for a reason.
I'm an open book, whatever.
Well, with
Whatever
that being said, you are. I'm going to, in the meantime, I'm going to let everybody
in.
come. Yeah, everybody's
except
in.
for Michael Olson.
Except Mike Olson. Yeah, Mike, sorry. We're going to. But I'll tell you what, we do have Amelia, and I don't know if you remember, I know John does, Amelia Chumber from the UK is on here. She was at the Classic. Yeah, Mom left her stay up for this.
Wow.
There she is. Hi, Amelia. She was at the Classic this year. I don't know if you had a chance to meet her, but she shot at the Academy.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Hi, Amelia.
Oh, she's shy.
I don't know, Mike Holson. I think I'm having some issues getting your video. It's not working. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm sure Karen's there. What are you doing wrong, Mike? No. So, hey, Andy. You got Andy from Canada. Charles, Santo. Trying to think. We got Ted. If you guys can, I can unmute you all. If you guys, please let us know if you have any questions. Just avoid asking John about his hair. I think we cover that every single time we do this.
So we were saying hi to Amelia. Did you have her muted?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
She's got control now.
I had my microphone muted. Sorry.
Amelia, isn't it past your bedtime?
A little bit.
Whoa. It's middle of the night.
It's a special day.
Special day.
2 in the morning.
Tell your mother we said thank you for letting you join us. Is she there? Oh, she's only waving.
Hey, there's Santo.
Yeah.
Santo,
Hey,
you got your. Oh, he's fletching arrows. Look at that. He selectively put it right in front of the camera so we could all see that he's doing archery stuff.
I don't know if you guys know, but I'm arrow crazy.
Wow.
I have a few.
You have a problem.
I have a serious problem. I have a serious problem.
Are we still talking about the arrows that you had the serious?
If it wasn't for Lancaster Archery, I would not have this problem.
I think we're all in the same boat there.
There's some old Maxima RZs there.
Yeah.
Someone's fletching hunting arrows.
Actually, they work best for me for Trad Worlds next week.
Nice.
So I tracked down a dozen from Delusia.
No, you're good.
You're good.
I actually tracked down a dozen at 3 Rivers. They had them hidden somewhere. They had one dozen left, and I snatched them up.
Mute him.
Right.
He said 3 Rivers.
I
Mute
know.
him.
Sorry. I only have 3 dozen to take with me.
So before we, I don't want to cut anybody off because it's always like a reunion when we do this. You guys have any questions for Rob? Anything you want to talk about before, so we don't hold him up and he can get home? Going once.
Any guesses on the Classic?
Any guesses on the Classic? Well, we're actually meeting next week to begin to discuss what options we have. I can tell you this: we can't do it at 6 feet. I've tried, and I just don't see a way that with 6 foot spacing we could do it. It's going to take too long and take up too much space. We could maybe get away with 5 feet, but we'll be working with the Nook, and we'll be doing everything we can to hold the event. I figured out a way that if we just skip a lane, we could make it viable, and that would give us 5-foot spacing.
Right.
There you go.
Indoor archery is really tough right now. World Archery and NFAA, USA Archery, no one's come out with a plan yet. So we're kind of on our own, or we're going to be left to be one of the leaders in the world, I guess, in coming up with a solution.
Sounds like you guys are working pretty hard at it then. We appreciate that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I mean, we do not want the Classic to end here. Not a quitter.
We know that.
Go ahead, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
No, we can't hear you. Hold on. We might.
Ew. Oh.
Leave it up to the Canadian, and we can't hear it. And he's not even on mute. Look, he's like, if you want to type your question in the chat, you can do that. You can do that. Anybody else, while we're waiting for Andy and his 10 thumbs to type into his question?
Let me know if he types A.
I want to apologize to everybody for my fuzziness. I've been at the farm for 3 or 4 days just working, and
It's atrocious.
so
Embarrassment.
This isn't a bunch of Olympic recurve shooters. You don't need to worry about that. I'm just kidding.
Not even dressed in white.
I know. Oh, Amelia, how about you?
Amelia's the only one without a beard on this.
You're right. Look, did you see the look at her face? She's like, what are you saying about me, Ted? See if Andy's question came through yet. No.
There he goes.
Yep. Does it seem like distancing will be an issue that far away?
I certainly hope not. You know, but it's hard to. Who knows? My crystal ball's broken. You know, hopefully there's either a vaccine or, you know, after the election things go away, whatever. You know, we certainly hope that it's not an issue. I think COVID will still be with us. I think we're going to have to learn to live with it, and you know, we'll see how willing people are to travel, especially internationally. You know, that World Archery has no plans to hold events this year, and so I'm really looking forward to the first World Archery event, the first international event. That'll tell me that things are beginning to break loose. Amelia, in the UK, in Great Britain, are there any local tournaments? Are clubs open in Great Britain?
No, we don't have any competitions going on at all. There's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not even club.
Not even like little club ones.
Yeah.
I did, Rob, I did talk to Klaus Pinbo, who was also at the Classic this year. I don't know if you met Klaus from Denmark. I had a Zoom meeting with him today, and he said that they are going to be opening back up here shortly, hosting their Star Fetus. So there's a little bit of a bright spot coming from Denmark. So
yeah, it's going to start up again like it is here, and that's on a local level where people can just drive, not even spend a hotel night. You know, so it will start locally and expand from there. I'm afraid the sport of competitive archery has lost a lot of momentum. And I worry about that. Bow hunting and 3D don't seem to be nearly as affected there were 1,600 archers at the ASA 3D in Kentucky last week.
Yeah, that's good.
That was that had to have been pretty close to Kentucky last year too, wasn't it? Right around there?
Normally Kentucky is about 1,900.
19. Okay.
Yeah,
So they're not far off.
not far off. No.
Yeah, it definitely seems like 3D has not been affected and maybe it's just the difference in the organizations and the way that they're being handled. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have a question? Anything you want to bring up before we let Rob go for the evening and finish his ride? Looks like everybody's good. Got accomplished what we needed to. Right, Andy? Eh? He so badly wants to say something right now. It's like
he makes the ugliest shirts I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but you have to admit that the Archery parent one you have to admit it's a good one.
Alex probably came up with that idea.
It wasn't there.
Don't give Alex that much credit. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to let Rob go. I thank you all for joining in. Like Andy said, that guy's the worst. That's your national champion, isn't it, that you're talking about right now? Yeah. All right, Rob, thanks so much for joining us. I know you had a lot going on. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks again for joining us. And we'll be uploading this to our podcast. We're putting it on YouTube. And everybody, be safe out there.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Thank you, John. Looking good,
Thanks.
John.
Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
See ya. Have a good night. See you guys. Thanks for joining in.
See you guys.